Today, we're going to talk about something called situational self talk. And before we do that, I'm going to read you the passage for today, November 17th. And I'm here to help you to find your purpose. And one of the ways that I do that is by reading a passage. One of the tools I use to help you find your purpose is reading a passage every single day from Dr. Shad Helmstetter's book, 365 Days of Positive Self Talk for Finding Your Purpose. So it's a it's a beautiful book. I hope that if you haven't gotten it yet, you can see we've been using it now since I think it's November 13th. I think I'm just going to say the 13th. I'm not sure what exact day, but of 23. So we've been using it for quite a while. We just started all over on January 1 and we'll continue through December 31st. And there are actually 366 days because it's a leap year. So for November 17th, it's day 322 of the year, 44 days left in 2024, and we are 87.98% complete with the year. So the passage for today, I'm really enjoying the journey. I may not always know what is at the end of my path, but I look forward every day to every step I am blessed to take along the way. I've got my two puppies here with me. So let's spin that around. You know how we do that. You're really enjoying the journey. You may not always know what is at the end of your path, but you look forward every day to every step you are blessed to take along the way. That one really got to me today because I wanted to do this a little bit early, more than I usually do this in the evening, because I just enjoy my time with you. And it's kind of a sacred ritual that I have. But I wanted to do this now because I'm just moving through grief. I'm moving through grief and I want to show you how to excel in times of change, and that means showing you the rawness of being human. And so I was hoping that I wouldn't cry, but I didn't put any extra makeup on because I've been dabbing it off. I wear like organic, clean makeup, and you can't have any glue, so the mascara goes all over my face. So if I have mascara, if I get any, well, I guess I just will. But we're going to talk about, like, I love this about enjoying the journey. And as I read it, I thought, am I enjoying the journey? It's like, yes, I am very mucho enjoying the journey. I'm enjoying it a lot. Even the things, with Steve passing, I know that that's part of my journey. And there's something really important about moving through grief, because if you allow it to stay in your body, if you allow any emotion, any negative emotion, really, of a low frequency, you allow it to stay in your body, and it stays in your tissues. It literally will stay in your tissues. And grief is in the lungs, so I'm doing breathing exercises and other things. And so, but I wanted to talk about situational self-talk today because it's another form of self-talk that, besides what we normally talk about, or the kind that's in this book, and the very specifics to the brain. And it is when there's something happening in your life that you can, depending on the situation, you can move yourself to you can look at it differently, change your perspective. And that's something that I've shared with you before, like in traffic. And I used to always say, wherever you are, I'm not. and it was that, it wasn't very kind, and it was not coming from a place of love. It was coming from, you're in my way, get out of my way, that kind of stuff. And very low frequency. And I was attracting like all kinds of other peeperoos that were of that same frequency. And when I shifted and changed that many moons ago to, I drive with love and compassion, and I smile, and I smile at myself in the mirror, and I smile at the world, so I drive with love and compassion. And it's a whole different experience. And that is situational self-talk. But for me today, I needed to write my own situational self-talk for dealing with the grief, because one of the things that can happen is you can get stuck. And we all know this. It's not like I'm telling you anything you don't know. we can get stuck in our being angry, not wanting to forgive, feeling grief, feeling what any of these emotions that come from lack. Literally, they come because we live in a very abundant universe, and when we don't recognize that, we're coming from lack. We are either in lack or we're in abundance, and missing Steve, that's lack. There's I feel like there's a hole, and I do feel in lack because I haven't quite moved through it all yet, and I will, and I'm doing it now. But this it's really important that I'm real honest with you about just the human condition, and I flood myself with that compassion energy that says, oh, here I go again. The human, the human experience, because I know that I'm spirit, and when I go, it's going to be beautiful. And I don't mean like it, because you don't just die, you continue. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It just transforms. And Steve has transformed. He has transcended. He's I'm sure absolutely peace and all the wonderful things that I could wish for him. So that situational self-talk, I created a phrase because it's hit me so hard today. And it's like I can't get stuck. I I choose not to be stuck in the grief. I choose to let the grief flow through me because that's a healthy thing to do for the human condition. But I was like, I need situational self-talk to deal with this. So basically I'm instantly changing myself from one state to another when I say this, and I will say it 3 times. So I created my own situational self-talk that because I don't want to this is when you focus on what you want rather than what you don't want. And what I don't want is to be in lack or disempowered. And so I want to come from a place of empowerment, because lack doesn't feel good. Lack never feels good. That's how you know you're in lack. When you feel abundant, there's joy and there's happiness. So this is what I wrote for this. Let me see. I wrote, I love celebrating my love for Steve. I always allow the tears of grief to flow and never avoid it so it doesn't congest my body. I feel the grief without allowing it to stop me from growing and living fully by focusing on what I want, my goals, not on what I don't want. So that's just, I just came up with that for myself because I really needed to change my state. And right after I wrote it, I thought, I really need to come and share this with you because maybe this is something that can help you. It's a tool. Situational self-talk is a tool, and it's a very powerful one that can move you from that, like the traffic, or move you from, immense grief or intense anger or anything that is of a low frequency and is coming from a place of lack. So that's why I thought I want to do this. Wow, there's a lot of traffic. I mean, there's one car on the road. So, and the other thing is, I was just watching, um, so in March and April, we went on our last RV trip together to Arizona, and I'm going to be making that trip again. It's every year. It's with FMCA. But I was looking at some of the videos, and I always make a bunch of videos, and I heard his voice, and he just has the most sweetest, kindest voice, and I just missed him. Like, it hit me so hard. So my puppies are like, Mommy, what's wrong? Oh, yes. So I won't be watching those. But I was allowing all of this. I didn't mean for that to happen, but it did. And so and then I just started almost wallowing in it. I was almost overcome with the lack, with the love, with missing him. And so and so this is so I will say this, and I might tweak it a little bit, but it's just what flowed. I love celebrating my love for Steve. I always allow the tears of grief to flow and never avoid it so it doesn't congest my body. I feel the grief without allowing it to stop me from growing and living fully. I should probably say consume me for myself by focusing on what I want, my goals, and not what I don't want. I want to move myself forward. That's what I want, and I want to live fully, and I want to do more for you. I want to now I have the time to well, as all of the legal things and of death and all of those as that moves forward, which it should be done um in a while, um as soon as all that is through, then and now I have more time. I'm not caretaking 24/7 because that's pretty much what it was. So even though I thought he was going to come around, you know, he didn't. And so but it did require an immense amount of caretaking, and I don't miss that. I don't miss that at all. I miss the man, that was the man when we did our RV trip in April and March, and then after that until he got into that delirium, which totally shifted him, shifted the way he was. I didn't know that man. I still loved him and still cared for him, but I didn't know that man. So, that situational self-talk is such an amazing tool that you can use, and it's so valuable because it helps you. Like if you, like Lynette, she she couldn't stand emptying the dishwasher, and that was such a big hang up for her that all of her dishes would get piled up in the sink. And so we did some situational self-talk for her to do that, like that she always tackles the dishes every day. I can't remember exactly what we did for that one. And then her friend, her best friend yesterday, Krikor, he I think he was talking about folding clothes or something. I can't remember. But it's one little hang up that we have that will just stop everything, and even, or not even a hang up, but just a situation in your life. Like right now I am moving through grief. It wasn't expected for him to go, and although looking back I can see signs. I mean, looking back, if you're on my newsletter, you got my newsletter, and you know that I said, that I could see it looking back. It's very clear. um, or it could have been very clear, but I'm just a humongous believer in that we create our own realities and we decide. And I still believe that he decided. I mean, I know he decided when he was exiting planet Earth. So it really is a matter of a matter of you taking control of your life, and you deciding to change your perspective, and you going through the human experience. And I've given you several tools right now that I am using because I want you to excel in times of change. And this is one of the ways you can excel by not focusing on what it is that you don't want. And I don't want to feel lack. I don't want to feel upset, or that I don't want to feel frozen in my grief. I I don't know if it's Happy Bean's hair or mine that's flying around my face, but that's just not something that I want. I really want to move myself forward. I want to fly. I want to soar, and so that's important to me. So I want to look at my goals. I want to focus on my goals and keep those right in front of my face and move towards those. And that's really important. I have my goals, and then I have the obstacles to overcoming those goals, and then I have my action steps for each of the obstacles, so that is my blueprint for creating my life, creating my reality, designing it all, putting it all together. And so that's a tool to have your goals. For the moment, it's flooding yourself with that compassion energy, feeling that liquid warmth of loving compassion for myself, for the human that is Lenny, the human experience, to flood through and it's okay. It's okay to feel those things, and not to stifle it, because I don't want the issues in my tissues. I don't want to have. I truly believe that, Steve was diagnosed with congestive heart failure. There's no doubt in my mind he really did not know how to show his emotions very well. And I called him my silly alien man a lot because he just didn't show a lot of emotion. And I mean, I got little pats on the butt or pats on my leg or, something, but wasn't a whole lot of emotion in almost any situation, not even anger. I mean, he just, I think he really learned to hold that in. And I truly believe, unless your heart is open and you feel things like me with the grief, flowing through the grief, my heart is open and it's flowing, and it is an honor and a privilege to be a human, and to have this human experience as spirit, as divine energy, like coming into, we're both the spirit and the human both at the same time. And this human experience, we feel like it's so real that we can get, it can overtake us, this 3D world that you can touch, when the majority is, as I talk about it a lot, is energy. It's the wave versus the particle versus matter. And so energy versus matter, and the wave versus the particle. And there's very little matter, and at like less than 1%, and over 99% of everything's energy. And truly, if you go energy to matter, even matter is energy. So, but if you go particle and wave, that's where you're looking at the less than 1%, and then the 99.9999% of the wave. So that's, I just share that with you because you get to create your own reality, and the tools that I'm sharing with you can really help you to move yourself through things like I'm showing you right now, how to move through a very low frequency, which is grief. And why is it a low frequency? Because I'm in lack. I'm missing something. I'm not whole and complete because someone has been removed from my life. But he really hasn't. He's just transformed. And um and so and so until I move through that, I'm going to continue to allow that to flow, and I'm going to use my tools of that loving, that energy, that energy, compassion energy, to just flow through me, and allow myself to have that, because then every single time, like I've just been doing it, and it neutralizes the emotions, and then I can move from that state. And then the situational self-talk helps me to change the situation, just like the traffic, rather than what I say with the traffic is, wherever you are, I'm not, to I drive with love and compassion, and repeat, 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 right? And the more you repeat it, the more it becomes a program, and that is a program for me. I get in the car, and instantly it's I drive with love and compassion. So I've changed that program, and I come from a whole different space, and my experience is way different than when I'd start with, oh, wherever you are, I'm not. so I share those tools with you, and then this situational self-talk. It is very, very powerful, and it's very specific, so that you take action on it, and it has to do with the exact situation that you're in, just like the traffic. And so right now, my situational self-talk has to do with helping me helping me not be stuck and frozen in grief, and move, having it all consuming, because this morning it was all consuming, and I almost, I was like, how do I move myself out of this? And I was like, Lenny, you have tools. You have lots of tools. And I started with that compassion energy, and the situational self-talk, to move myself out, not to stifle it, but to move myself in a productive direction, a direction that serves me, and doesn't have me feeling like I'm all consumed and stuck in it and congested. So so that my example that I shared with you, I hope that's helpful. And I'll read one last time. And this is, before I read that, I just want you, I want again to say, I am very honest with you. And I want you to excel in times of change. I want you to find success in every single area of your life. And you can do that. And you can do that by changing your programs. And you can also do that by situational self-talk when the need arises. And but you can do that. The best way to rewire your brain, that I know the easiest, that I always share with you, is in the description, always. And you get 30 days free of Dr. Shad Helmstetter's self-talk language for changing your programs, every single program, whether it be, I mean, and I'm going to go put on right now stress, worry, and depression, because I know I'm a winner. I know that I can get through this. I know that I don't crumble, and in times of intense stress or worry or depression, and I haven't, and I'm not. I choose to allow the feelings to flow, and then I choose to get right back into living fully, and and designing my life in a way that is that will help many people, because that's really important to me. My Project Santa Claus has always been a really important thing for me, and if I sit around wallowing in sadness and in lack of missing Steve, I'm not going to be very helpful to all those people that I can help with the gifts that I have, am I? And I'm not fulfilling my purpose, which could help lots of people. And so that's, I want to just get myself back on track, and the situational self-talk, and then listening to the self-talk for stress, worry, and depression will set me right up. And then a little bit later I'll listen to goal setting, or whatever it is. Probably financial self-talk, for financial success, because I really want to move into that Project Santa Claus, and really make that happen for a lot of people. So that's my story, and I need to go blow my nose, so I better go. I love you so very mucho. You can do this. You can find your purpose. You can do, be, become, have, create, change, absolutely anything. Look how I changed. I went from be, become, I added a new one. I love all these things that we can do. You were born with unlimited promise and potential, as was I. And we can do all of these things. We can change, we can create and have and become absolutely anything that we focus on. Look at all the hairs coming out of um, anything that we focus on. So, and where we place our attention, because wherever you place your attention, wherever you place your focus, you place your energy, and your energy goes on it. And so what I'm going to do today is put on my Pomodoro. Is that the Pomodoro? Is that what it's called? But like 25 minutes. And my friend Chrissy, she does it all the time. And that's how I wrote my book. I put my book on for 25 minutes and then 5 minutes as a break to walk around. And I think I actually did 10 minutes. And I think I did 30 minutes and 10 or something like that. But but then you stay so focused for that 25 minutes or 30 minutes, or whatever amount of time that you want, and and then you rest. You rest your head. You get out. You get away. You don't make phone calls. You don't take phone calls. You don't anything. You want to get out in nature. So I would come out here, and just breathe and put my feet on the ground where there isn't any snow. Actually, I do walk in the snow, but now there's a lot of ice, so we have to be careful. The pupperoos and I, because they go running real fast, and their little hind legs go whoosh, and I don't want them hurting themselves. So anyway, that's the story. I love you so very much. I believe in you. You can do this. You can do absolutely anything, and I'm here for you. I'm absolutely here for you. And I'm here to tell you every single day that you were born with unlimited promise and potential. And then you got programmed. And your power comes from the knowledge that you can change those programs, and that you can excel in times of change. You can change your mental programs for programs that work for you, that tell you you can do things rather than you can't, what you can do, what you can't do. It's because you can do anything. You can be absolutely anything that you put your mind to. So wherever you place your focus. So that is what I got for you today, and that's it. So I hope this has been helpful for you. It's been cathartic for me. Thank you for allowing me to share and move through that. And I love you so very, very much. And we'll see you tomorrow. We are going to talk about being excited and optimistic about your future. That's pretty good. I'm very excited and optimistic about mine. And we're going to talk about surrounding yourself with success, because when you surround yourself with the right people that lift you and support you and believe in you and want your success for you, they don't hold you back. They're excited for you. And people who know things that you don't know, that you want to know, so that you can see the patterns and how they do things, so that you can learn, because we're getting programmed every single day. Like, you are getting programmed by me if you watch me every single day. And I hope that you do, because I want to program you with this, that you were born with unlimited promise and potential. And then you got programmed, and you can rewire your brain. That's through neuroplasticity. But that surrounding yourself with success, we're going to talk about that tomorrow. So that's it for today, and we'll see you tomorrow. And if you want to work with me, Lenny@lennymotivates.com, winner in the subject line. And if you'd like to be on my email list, um, that way you'll know when I'll announce here as well, but my group coaching, I have it on, which I put it, also my pricing, my packages in the description as well, along with the self-talk 30 days free. I put everything in the description, so you can get everything you need there. But I have that newsletter at Lenny@lennymotivates.com. That's my website. It started out being perfect, and then I shifted gears and really just became a product of the product, totally, of the self-talk. And there's a lot that I do with that in my coaching, and of course the spiritual is always a very big part. Man, I've got IB hairs everywhere. So that's it, and we will see you tomorrow. And thank you very much, for allowing me to flow through my grief and move myself into a better state, because we get to choose our states, and I choose to change the state of grief at this moment into a state that will help many, many others. And I choose to move myself into that state, because it feels good and it feels abundant. I love you so much. See you tomorrow. Ciao.